So today we can do a kind of a comparative analysis dwelling on some enlightening passages of the Bhagavad-gītā philosophy and psychology. So in 700 verses, this sacred poem celebrates the dialogue between the god Krishna and the warrior king Arjuna, who finds himself between the two armies in the holy field of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And here we can observe an interesting tendency, an interesting phenomenon. It's a kind of suspense. This moment then Arjuna finds himself in a profound crisis, and as if the time stops, as if there is a kind of transition, a kind of sandhi between his present level of conscience and the teaching that Krishna is going to offer. So here we can face the challenge of choice, the concept of crisis. Would you like to offer some comment on some of the Bhagavad-gītā verses regarding this crisis of Arjuna?
In the Bhagavad-gītā, first chapter, we see that Arjuna prepared himself to fight. So, regarding the challenge that Arjuna was facing, I was just saying that Arjuna prepared himself to fight in the Kurukshetra war, and he mounted his chariot. His chariot driver, Krishna, who was his dear friend and the Supreme Lord himself, was with him, and he picked up his bow, he picked up his arrows, he was about to shoot arrows at his enemies. But suddenly he said, Krishna, can you please take my chariot between both the armies so that I will observe who all have gathered here to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan. So he was just requesting Krishna like this. So we can clearly see that although Arjuna confronted, he was not convinced. Right? He came to confront with Duryodhan and party, but he was not convinced at heart. His heart was filled with emotions, overwhelmed with emotions. He went in front of all the relatives. Krishna actually took the chariot between both the armies and he said, behold, Partha, here are your relatives, all the warriors. So Arjuna saw Bhishma, Drona, then Duryodhan, his sons, grandsons, grandfathers, his maternal uncles, his teachers, friends. He has seen so many people, and Arjuna became so overwhelmed with compassion and confusion. Right? This compassion was born out of his confusion also. So it's a very long narration there. Entire first chapter, at least second half of the first chapter of Bhagavad-gītā presents various confusions in the mind of Arjuna. Then in the beginning of the second chapter, we also see that Krishna chastised Arjuna. He said, Klaibyam masmagamaha partha naitattvai upapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. Oh Arjuna, give up this petty weakness of heart. Give up this kind of thoughts at this hour of crisis. So how can you think in this way? Because the kind of atrocities that Duryodhana and party have done to Pandavas is really unimaginable. They tried to take away their kingdom by illegal means, by cheating means. When Bhima was a small child, Duryodhana and party poisoned Bhima and tried to kill him. They wanted to kill all the Pandavas by setting fire to their home. They even tried to disrobe chaste Draupadi in front of everyone. So in this way, they did all kinds of atrocities towards the Pandavas. However, Arjuna is now in a mood to forgive. Arjuna is now in a mood to just let go. I don't want any kingdom. I can't enjoy kingdom without my relatives. I will not fight with them. Instead, I will go to the forest and beg something. So this is how Arjuna was feeling, and Krishna thoroughly disapproved this mentality of Arjuna. Okay. Now, after a series of such atrocities, suddenly the main warrior on Pandava's side, which is Arjuna, he says that I will not fight. It's a little too much, right? So Arjuna and Bhima were the most prominent warriors on the side of Pandavas, and Arjuna, one of the most prominent warriors, in the presence of Krishna, he says that I just cannot do this war, perform this war against my own relatives. Then Krishna said, Krishna chastised him. Even after receiving chastisement from Krishna, Arjuna said, no, I cannot fight. I cannot fight with my own people. What will I get? Whatever food I eat, even after being victorious, will be tainted with blood of my own relatives, my own teachers and elders and grandfathers and teachers. I just don't want this kind of prosperous kingdom. Then Arjuna said, I didn't know whether it is good for me to fight or not. Maybe it is better for me to be killed by my enemies unarmed. He was totally in confusion. He was very indecisive. In such a context, Arjuna said, Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammodha chetah yah shreyasya nischitam bruhitan me sishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. My dear Krishna, I am unable to come to a conclusion. I cannot decide on my own. Karpanya dosha, my mind is very much affected by miserly weakness. What is this miserly weakness? Who is a miser? A miser is a person who has something, some wealth, and he doesn't want to utilize it. Okay, that's a miser. A person who has great intelligence, but he does not have the ability or inclination to apply that great intelligence logically, reasonably, he is also a miser. Arjuna is considering himself a miser. Because of my miserly weakness, he is a Kshatriya. He has ability to fight and he has intelligence to think. But still he is not utilizing all these resources and he is saying that I will not fight. Karpanya dosha. Apahata svabhava. Pritchami tvam dharma sammodha chetah. Dharma sammodha means I have become confused in performing my own duty. I have become confused. In such a state of confusion, I am asking you for guidance. Pritchami tvam, I am asking you. Accept me as your disciple and I accept you as my guru. Please tell me what is good for me. So whenever we are in crisis, when the problem at hand goes beyond the ability of our intelligence to solve, a wise person takes shelter of superior intelligence. He takes shelter of a guru. That's what Arjuna is doing.